before we get into today's podcast, I'd like to give a shout out to a company that we partnered with called Streamers Merch. They have these amazingly soft hoodies that I'm actually currently wearing, along with other apparel. They've partnered with not only T and Moths, but there is apparel on there from other streamers as well. And like I said, this is an amazingly soft and light hoodie. I've been loving ever since I got mine. So if you would want to check any of that out, head over to streamersmerch.com. Thank you.
Welcome back to the T and Moss podcast. This is episode 7. I got it right. I know I got it right. Episode 7. We didn't have a plan coming in, but now we're going to kind of talk about the main focus of this week is going to kind of be on networking as a streamer and content creator, because something very important that I've been seeing it more and more people talking about it, but not a lot. It's kind of just a lot of people saying, you gotta network. It's just like every other job about who you know.
Is that a blue sweatshirt, Rinks?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Vans merch.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that logo looked familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was.
Yeah, I couldn't see the whole thing. That's sweet, though. I like it.
It's one of my buddy's merch. It was very random how I met him, too. It was kind of strange, and now he's like one of my favorite streamers to go talk to.
There you go. Yeah, you meet crazy people sometimes.
Yeah, he told me that because I was streaming Call of Duty, like I was playing gun game on Modern Warfare, and I was streaming from my old apartment, and I had the webcam on, but I was laying on my bed, like laying down like head first like this into the camera, and just going off. And he said he was on this website that brings up like new/random streamers that like don't have like anyone watching them basically, and it randomly pulled me up, and him and his buddy were just watching, like, just hanging out, trying to find people. And then they saw me and they started talking to me. And to be honest, that was the very first person that like actually chatted in my stream. And that wasn't just like, a spam bot. He was like the very first person that like actually chatted with me on Twitch, and I was just like, damn. And then he was like, well, I mean, he didn't have to tell me he streamed. I eventually figured it out. And so I just went and would start watching him, and he was a cool dude.
I didn't even know that story.
I didn't either.
It's kind of weird. Well, I mean, I've never really brought it up. Yeah, he was legitimately my first viewer on Twitch, and I'm glad he decided to say something that night while I was just dicking around.
Yeah, you never know. Like, just you going into random stream and chatting that's how you meet new people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Called networking.
Yeah, something I suck at. What do you think would be if you had to pick your top 3 apps for someone to use as like network, the best way to make those friends, connection, what would you say? What 3 apps?
TikTok, because it's the most discoverability. As long
Twitter.
as you are putting stuff out, it's easy to find. Twitter, I think, is the best for making a connection. So if you can find the like-minded people, because you can actually get a reply, and it just, I don't know, it feels the most intimate when you're replying to someone.
You can get a lot of replies if you piss them off.
That's good network.
I don't know. Third I would probably put YouTube. I don't know, something about Instagram, I just not for me. Like I'll continue to post on it. I just haven't felt that the community on Instagram is there for gaming as much as the other ones.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I kind of feel that.
Because I was on Instagram, and it's a lot of
booty pics.
It's a lot of like NFT stuff. I mean, obviously each platform is based on what you like, whatever. But I mean, I just like made a fresh new account, and then it was like NFT, learn how to do this and that, how to make a quick buck. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it was, probably good advice, but whenever I hear like abs in 7 minutes, like this doesn't happen,
Mhm.
It's 7
not
minutes
quick.
over a
Nothing quick.
year. Like
Well, right. Nothing. I feel like that's another thing that I've noticed with networking. It's a slow process, and you have to put in the work every day for it. Like maybe you can't catch their stream every time or whatnot because obviously everyone's busy with work and their own stream and stuff. But you act like you said, you like hit it perfect. You're not there to gain just to gain. You're there to give and help other people, and then in return they'll help you. But you're both. It's like a win-win instead of you because a lot of people I feel like are. You'll see it on Twitter. You'll get a follow, you'll follow them back, and like 2 days later they
they've
unfollow.
unfollowed.
Yeah, and they never interact with your stuff. Or what I don't like about Twitter, for example, is the people who post, and I'm not targeting anybody by saying any of this, but the people who post, like only cute people can reply, and it's like, okay, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like obviously people are looking for, impression and whatnot, but just like stuff like that, I just don't like, and I don't think that's like networking in my opinion because you're just looking, But it's hard because like kind of is in a way. But yeah, I've never really tried. I never really tried Instagram. So I kind of got the same thing. My boss said it's not very. Feels like it's not team,
I was gonna
but
say
good for like clips.
I the way I use Instagram is definitely more for like watching sports clips. Like
Yeah.
it
Okay.
cuz
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm just going to say this cuz I work at a news station at night. I don't necessarily always get to watch sports. So the best way to see all the highlight plays is on Instagram. So,
Yeah. When I wasn't that big into sports, but everyone at my work was very big into sports. I'm telling you, ESPN clips and whatnot saved me from just everything. I was like, you walk in, you're like, did you see that cool play? And I was like, dude, I saw the play. This happened. This happened. I act like I knew sports for the longest time. I know a lot about sports now, but like when I was like, 17, 16, 17, I mean, the only sports that I really watched were like Twins and Vikings. Like I didn't watch anything else. Like I didn't care about, or I always watched like like the finals or and
Mhm.
whatnot. But like other than that, I didn't really watch a lot of sports. But I'm telling you, you can learn a lot from those clips that everyone talks about. Save my butt from work. Made a couple friends that way too. I was
Yeah.
like,
Social media
cool
has been
clips.
nice in that, and you're not gonna miss some important thing that happened because it'll be posted
Exactly.
75 times.
mhm. And if it's
See that
big
cool
enough,
catch?
it'll literally take up your feed for a day and you're just like, "Fuck this,
Yep.
I'm getting off. I'm done.
Like if
I've seen
like
enough."
if LeBron has some crazy poster dunk, it's gonna be on every single social media app for the next 15 minutes at 6 different
Yeah.
angles. I'll open Twitter and 17 accounts will have posted it in a row. Nothing
Yeah.
in between. The only thing in between is just a tweet by someone saying, "Oh my god, that LeBron dunk!" Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what got me more into sport, to be honest, were those clips. Like otherwise or in that job obviously. Otherwise I just would have only known the Vikings and the Twins.
yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, I would literally, anytime we had any class in a computer room, I would watch the last night's top 10 for NBA plays, and then I would do the same for whatever ever sport was on. But whenever in school, basketball kind of seems to be on the whole time during the school year, or most of it.
Absolutely. I remember I was watching a video, the top 10 kicker fails, and the Vikings were like 3 of them. I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Sounds
like,
about right.
of the top 10 were 3. That sucks.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Sadly.
So,
Yes.
what do you? Just a general question right off the bat. What do you guys think? So, networking. It's a very like vague term,
Mhm.
very broad. Like, not many people know what you mean by it when you say networking. Just like when I first started streaming, I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't have anything. I just clicked go live. I mean, I was just streaming for 3 hours a day. Didn't know what Twitch really was. My buddy just was like, "Hey, you should stream," and that's what I did. It wasn't until for a while I was just like, I'm gonna have a Twitter. Like, I don't know, I've never had a Twitter until recently, to be honest. Like, I never did. And I saw my stream like follows go up tremendously after that. After I started going on Twitter, I was like, wow, Twitter is a pretty cool place. I didn't know anything about Twitter. I didn't know the platform. I mean, I'm still learning the platform, but do you think that it's important to be on several different apps or have like 1 to 3 that you are mainly on? Because I was told by several people, like, get on many platforms and just post on them all. But then you're having 12 different platforms and people commenting. I mean, eventually, not right away, obviously, but like then now you're on your phone, you're spending like so
It,
much time on your phone trying to comment on everything and keep up with everything. It gets to be a lot, in my opinion.
at that point, you kind of have to pick your breadwinners and stick with those, because otherwise, you're just gonna, like you said, you're gonna be on your phone all the time, and it might eventually learn to either you like more frustration or just more like just burnt out on it, because you're just constantly posting videos. Like you said, if you're posting on 12 different platforms, I get that that might reach a lot of people, but also that's a lot of work that might not necessarily get a ton of traction on some of those smaller bits. So I mean,
Well, and sometimes what I'll see is, let's say I make a video of me doing something, whatever. That same video is going to go on all 12 platforms. So, like, if I'm looking for you on 3 of them and I see the same video, I mean, that to me is like,
you found
if
an
I'm, you know what I mean? Like, if it's the same thing on every platform, it's hard for me to be very interested, in my opinion, because it's just like, oh, I already saw this.
yeah, you're not gonna get the click on, you're not gonna get the like on Twitter and the like on your YouTube video and on your reel, and like not everyone's gonna click on every single thing. They might just see it on the one avenue.
Right.
As someone who does post on every single website the same similar clip on all, generally I've noticed most people have one main social media. They're not using all of them. So your audience
True.
on each social media is going to be different.
Mhm.
So there's not often a lot of crossover anyways. But
Never
for
thought of that.
example, I try to make them a little bit different. So when I post a TikTok, make sure I always have some sort of words over it. Sometimes I'll throw the background music in there, just something to make it a little different. And it's in the TikTok format. And then when I do Reels and YouTube Shorts, I don't always keep those words on the video. I'll sometimes just post the video in the horizontal or the vertical format, and then I will just go full screen when I post it for Twitch and eFuse, or not Twitch, Twitter and eFuse, just because that's more the type of video that
format.
you can watch on there. There is some carryover, but often the people using TikTok are watching TikTok. People using Twitter are watching Twitter. It's not going to be people on both. I know I'm one of the rare breeds that is on every social media because I just live on it, and I probably would still be on most of them even if I wasn't posting. So by using it to post and promote myself and be productive, it makes me feel better about being on social media instead of just being there wasting time. So
yeah, I was told that social media should be used as a tool. So they said, if you're, let's say, content creation, right? I've heard people say use it as a tool. You're not there to scroll. I'm like, well, I mean, I like seeing funny videos. I like watching, meeting different people that way. But a lot of time, people I've watched, like, when I started using it as a tool instead of like downtime pleasure, then I really got into social, because it was more of a tool used to help promote myself or something along those. Because there's times I've been on TikTok and hours go by and you're like, whoa, maybe not quite hours, but like,
no
you
hours.
know what I mean? Like,
Sometimes it's hours.
and then you're sitting there like, how much time you could have just used, to do the thing you've been putting off, like to finish doing the thumbnail, to finish recording your video, to do all that stuff. Then I was like, okay, I had to get it off my phone. I don't have it on my phone anymore because it was kind of being a problem to an extent. Because it's like what it's almost like it was like Vine. Like Vine was worse, I think. It was 6 seconds. So every 6 seconds, you're just getting a new video.
Or you're watching that one on repeat and just dying.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Vine was a little worse, but TikTok is like, I'm not gonna lie, I did learn a lot of cool things at TikTok. Like there's different foods, that I should try, or different methods of how to cook something. Like a lot of life hacks on there, but a lot of funny clips and stuff.
I don't know.
So
The other thing is using that scrolling, as long as you're not just scrolling mindlessly, if you are scrolling and using it and dropping likes, retweets, and comments on similar, using it for networking. So say there are follow other similar minded people, other people that are doing content creation, similar level as you, and use that as a connecting point to build a friendship, so that not only you can help them grow, they can help you grow just by being friends. Don't go into everything just trying to be me. I'm doing this networking to get them to help me. You gotta help them to have them help you. So most of the time when you're going in, you gotta be friends. Like, don't go in it and looking at, oh, they're just like a customer, they're coming to watch me. Just
act like karma's real. That's what you need to do, is act like karma is real.
And that's kind of with all networking. You have to give to get. So basically, when people talk about networking, it's literally just going and getting friends. It's not about doing a business type of thing. Go watch someone else's stream. Just go be friendly with them. And honestly, friendships are better than just someone you would never. You need that connection. It makes it go along.
So much further.
Yeah, I've even heard some medium sized, the bigger streamers. They're like, I wish I was smaller, because then they're like, I can't make connections in the chat. Because that's my favorite thing. Like someone comes in and they're just like, you're almost like slowly become friends. Kind of like you guys talked too. But I found what's kind of interesting just in the past 5 years, just how popular gaming has become.
The pandemic,
in the past,
definitely pushed that, for sure.
But in the past, it's only people you knew played Call of Duty. They're like, oh, everyone in my school played Call of Duty. But if you played any other game besides Call of Duty, you're just like, well, yeah, you got made fun of. They're like,
you game
play Minecraft?
You game?
Yeah,
yeah, I get
it's just
that.
crazy. And it was even worse, obviously, early 2000s and stuff. But just becoming
mainstream,
so popular. Yeah. I was watching Osmond Gold the other day, and he's like, gosh, when I was in high school, I got made fun of my whole high school career. And then I came on Twitch, and he quoting him. He's like, I was the king of the nerds. This is where I found my spot. And he's a very popular streamer, World of Warcraft and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, now everyone's on here. Everybody, the people who bullied me in high school are on here, and they're just as popular as me. It doesn't make any sense. I was like, hey. It just goes to show how it kind of just became everybody is streaming, everybody's on Twitch, everybody's watching. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all because people started to realize there was money in it, and that kind of made it blow up. I had the encounter this last week. I mentioned, so on the topic of networking, for my work, I joined a networking group as a salesman. It's basically you're in a group with other people that are also salesmen from other industries, and you work together to give each other business. It's kind of what networking is. You give them business, they give you business. It's kind of cool. But I had a lunch with one of them, and he kept asking me what he kept digging in, what are your hobbies? What do you do in your free time? And I said sports. And he goes, well, what else? So I eventually got to the point of telling him I stream, and first thing he says, oh, there's good money in that. So anyone that's older, before would never know, and now it's all money, 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 money. I'm like, well, yeah, there can be, but not really. Like
It's not
the
easy.
amount of people getting a lot of money from it are not a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's the biggest mistake people make when they first. I mean, this you hear people all the time. They're like, "Oh, I quit my job," and I'm like, "Oh, or you quit your job already?" Like, dang. I mean, some people could do it. They could do it, but I mean, you quit your job to just stream. You know,
Yeah, that's
like
it's
they
a
don't
tough
realize
tough spot of
the amount of work.
transition. Yeah, and like the whole thing is your community big enough for you to actually make that leap and that change? Like is it
And
consistent enough for you to be like I actually don't need this job and it's holding me back from streaming or
there's a
being
lot of
a better
people,
streamer?
I think, that try to jump it too early.
Mhm.
And they're
Oh yeah,
like, I feel like I'm close, and I'm just gonna go all in, and it'll put me over the edge.
Yeah.
And there is so
Sometimes
much luck involved, and relying on other people that also have lives that you don't necessarily can guarantee are gonna always be there. So it's hard to go all in if you don't have already a steady guaranteed base that like has proven itself over and over again.
mhm.
Because I've seen people that are not too much bigger than I am, like maybe are averaging 15 to 20 viewers, and they're like, I'm just gonna go all in. Like you don't even, you have a maybe 100 subs, you're not gonna be able to live off that. You
Yeah.
gotta be and I literally saw someone do it, and their like going live notification was, I quit my job to stream, and it was the same going live notification for like 5 days. Now I haven't seen him go live in weeks, so I'm feeling like it didn't work out.
Yeah. Also, a week is
and
not very much of a trial run for
I
that.
mean,
That's
I think they gave it like a month, but now I haven't seen him go live in a long time. It was
and also because what I thought like especially like earlier, I was like, I want to see if I can even go live every day. You know, like can I do streaming 8 hours a day for a whole week? And I kind of tried that. Like so when I did that, so earlier this year I had Saturday, Sunday, and I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, and I streamed every day. And I'm telling you, by Wednesday I was just like fried. I was like, oh my gosh, I do not want to stream for next week. I don't want to do it. Like I just wasn't having fun anymore. So like that for me, like, you know, it's always like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm obviously thought about it, but I'm not gonna do that. Like I just don't want to do that yet, obviously. Sometime in the next couple of years, even probably. But like that was just like I can't do that every day for that every single day. Like I don't know how people could do that. For you see people 12 hours a day. They just on stream, having
mhm.
a good time. And I'm just like, wow. I don't know.
yeah.
Obviously, you have to find a game that's fun or
And
something to
has
do.
Yeah.
that much stuff that
But
you're not going to run out
right.
in 60 to 80 to 100 hours. You can just go.
And I was just like, wow, I'm not quitting my job. So like I think that's what happens to people too. They don't realize how much extra time they have. Because obviously, if you do that, you have to do whatever you can to make it work,
Hmm.
right? So maybe it is streaming 8 hours and then make
Honestly,
a
if that
video.
was your
But
thing, streaming 8 hours a day would not help you reach your goal,
yeah,
because the discoverability is not there. You'd have to be going
right.
hard at putting out a YouTube video every day of some sort. So you'd have to take the time to edit and put. It'd be a lot more work than a normal 9 to 5 type of job, because you would have to record, be some sort of streaming while also putting out content for YouTube and all your socials, and just
And
you have to,
clips
yeah.
and then on top of that, it's not guaranteed. It's
Exactly.
not guaranteed at all. So that's the hardest part is you never know when it's going to turn.
I think that's what happens is they're like, oh, so I work 40 hours a week. Now I have to work 120. Actually, like putting all the effort in and doing that, doing this,
Mm.
doing that. And if you take a day off, people are like, just you can't take a day off. I'm like that, like doing that, that sounds terrible. That sounds like because obviously streaming right now is more of a hobby for me.
Hmm.
Um, you hear people all the time saying, "Oh, make your hobby your job," and then the people that do that I've heard so many stories like, don't do it because you're gonna hate your hobby, and then you're gonna not have a hobby.
Hmm.
You're just gonna feel like it's more work than when you was a hobby you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now you're stuck with the you just hate your job, and now you hate your hobby. And he's like, don't do it. Then it goes either way. Obviously, everyone's different because you hear other stories saying like that's the best thing I ever did, like made my hobby my job. So it's all personal preference, but I think people, like you said, jump the gun. Imagine networking every day for hours a day. Like that, you're going to lead to burnout. You're just going to lead to burnout.
One on top of you might be trying to network, and maybe some people just don't care. They don't want to. They don't like the stuff that you're putting out. They just have different tastes, and it's not going to be for everyone. You know,
Right.
you're not
Absolutely.
you're not going to be able to make a connection with every single person because some people just have a brick wall around them. But you know, I just kind of go in with the mindset of as long as I'm here to be nice and like have a good time and basically just to try and tell jokes and make people laugh or smile. That's like my whole vibe of what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you just can't. People don't want that.
It's very true.
I mean, some people are down to just rage.
Some people just want to enter and listen to scream.
Plus,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to go about it the right way too, because I know there's people that
Hmm.
are like, well, if I follow you, you want to follow me, or
Yeah. That's
and
it.
Yeah.
that and oh, if I support you, will you support me? That's not the way to do it.
Hmm.
It's just gotta be natural. You can't force it because it turns people off if you're just seem like you're there because you want the viewer or the follower or stuff
Hmm.
like that. That is not the correct way to network. Um, it it just comes off bad because I even the other day I many times have had people. Well, if I follow your channel, we follow no because that doesn't lead to a consistent viewer. Uh, what if I don't like your content? Why would I follow? Like
Yeah.
it
True.
is kind of it's just reaching for a number, not
Yeah.
necessarily for the quality of the connection. 'Cause sure, having a million followers is cool, but if only five of them actually like you, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like,
And I could.
I'd way rather have hundreds of people that like and interact and care and have a connection and whatnot than just a bunch of empty numbers that are there.
It's
That's
be.
another thing. Go ahead.
It's beyond viewership. That type of mindset carries over into friendships too. You don't want to have just. You don't want to know every single person in the world. Trust me, you don't. But there's a lot of really good people out there. So you just got to find the right ones that fit for you.
Going kind of off what Moss said, I have a couple friends who they're like, oh, like 3 people unfollowed me today. I'm like, okay, like they just didn't like your content. Nothing against you. Like I just see it. People get so devastated. Obviously, you're gonna have people follow. You're gonna have people unfollow. It's just how it works. But I've seen so many people devastated about losing a follow here and there. They didn't like your content. I'd rather them not be on my follower list.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're not, like, and I don't even really like the term followers. It's like because obviously they're followers, but I feel like that's not really a good like a general term. Kind of like you said, it should be like friends. How many
Mm-hmm.
general cool people you meet online? Like you
Yeah.
said, empty numbers. But people chase empty numbers because that's the bigger the following, the more chances you have for
Well.
sponsorships, this,
Hmm.
that, and the other thing.
Well,
But
and also when streamers start looking at like partner and stuff, they get caught up in those numbers, and they're like, we got to hit those, we got to reach those and maintain them, and then like boom, that's all that matters is once we hit partner, we get that, and we're set. Like you guys are saying, those empty followers aren't gonna
Yeah.
help you out when you make that full switch, and that's kind of our whole point.
yeah, you see a lot of partners which that don't even get close to heaven.
Yeah. It's because they did something to put them over the edge, and
Yeah.
I get it. If you're that once you get close, I totally get it. Like you're gonna do all you can to hit that number so that you're gonna get more ad revenue. Then you can get more. You get more advantages as a partner, so it is worth pushing for that number when you get close. I get it, but then it's just kind of tough recuperating after that, because if you were doing something that increases your numbers daily, say with Warzone you play custom games, so it's a cool way to get new people in, but oftentimes they're there just to play the game with you, or you're doing games
Yep.
with viewers and stuff like that, stuff that just gets the people
Into the
there to
stream.
play. They're not there for you, or stuff like that. People like in sports games will host tournaments. Just you have to be in the chat to play and stuff like. It's a good thing to push you over the finish line. But then most of the people, you'll maybe make a few connections here or there, but most of the people there are not necessarily there for you. They're there for the game. So it's why a lot of partners I've seen jump over that line, get the partner, and then they're back down to being the 40 to 50 viewer range.
Still be cool. 40 to 50 people every time.
Oh yeah.
15 to 20, that would be insane.
Yeah.
The streams where I average over like around 15 or anything more than that are crazy. The chat's just I love it.
Right.
As long as it's not just me, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I look at, so on Twitter I've heard people, they're like, I've been at this number for months, and I'm like, I look at them like, you've been averaging 112 people every time you stream. What are you complaining about? You know what I mean? Like, people are like, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do to get more to grow. And I'm like, enjoy your time now. Like, oh my gosh. Like, think about like way back when I was like, I didn't comment on it, but I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, geez, how many people would love to be where you're at? Like, think about back when you had 5, like that was an amazing feeling. 10, amazing feeling. Like, just because you can't get more than 112, I mean, still, like, oh my gosh, I was just like mind blown that they tweeted that out. I just couldn't believe it.
Well, because
Because
they
like
need
me, it's
1,000
like,
or 500.
well, right. That's what I'm saying. So
Mm.
obviously the dopamine rush you get from just, you feel stuck. I get it. But I mean, when you have that many people, it shouldn't matter. Like, just be happy that, I don't know.
Any other job you're working and you don't want to ever hit a ceiling. I think that's why you would get frustrated. Any job, say you get promoted to whatever, and you hit a ceiling, and you're like, why? I want to get to the next promotion. You could get frustrated if you've been stuck at one spot for a long time. So I get it, because you don't ever want to stop growing, especially in a field like this where the most important thing is the new people and consistent growth. As I feel like stability would be okay as long as you're not going down. Going down would be the most frustrating. Where if you were at a high spot and you start losing consistently, say you averaged 100 viewers and now you're averaging like 50, that would be frustrating, because you're like, what am I doing wrong? It would feel like you were doing something wrong, because like I know I have had the people here before, and I know that I've been able to do it consistently. What did I do that changed that now? Like, you would make it would, because it's only you, you'd be like, am I the reason? Am I doing something? It would feel frustrating.
Did I say something? Did I, like, I don't know. I kind of understand that. I do have a lot of anxiety about people I'm talking to while I'm chatting, because when I'm on the streamer side of it, sometimes you don't always understand exactly what they're trying to say or what they meant. And so sometimes that's just the biggest turn off, is when they read something and just took it the completely wrong way. And sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna go do something else now. Like, I'm sometimes that happens, and I guarantee that as a viewer, sometimes you have that exact thought. You're like, I am gonna go somewhere else, because he did not get that.
True. Very true.
And that's probably the worst thing about communicating on Twitch, is sometimes, because a lot of it is through chat or like text, sometimes you can't always get your point across. But also, that's probably the best part about emotes, is you can really emphasize what you're trying to say if you have the right stuff.
Yeah. Normally a person that is consistently on Twitch with emotes is able to get their point across. But
Hmm.
there are so many people that are not have that chat experience where they can no punctuation, no the grammar is a little off. There no periods, no commas, so it can get tough to get your point across when you are no just typing something and you didn't put a comma in where you meant, and it can get confusing sometimes.
Well, and even
I
sometimes you
just
just make a reference and no one gets it, you know?
Yeah.
true. I was just thought of this, kind of going on a different tangent here. But so let's say, you met someone, they've been in your chat for a long time, and they're just always there hanging out, having a good time, and then they kind of start acting differently. Like, you like know this person pretty well now. They've been in there for a long time. And then all of a sudden it's almost like they're hurting your community. All of a sudden. Like, just all of a sudden everyone just hates the person. There's like, get this guy out of here. Dude, what are your thoughts? Like, let's say they donated to you, subbed to you, all this stuff. Like, what are your thoughts just like banning someone?
The first thing I would do is try to message them away from everything, just one on one,
Yeah.
and bring that up. And if that doesn't change their how they're acting or being in the community, you just got to tell them like straight up, like if
If you don't
people this
stop.
is affecting other people and they are not, just tell them honestly, people are not happy with how you're acting, and if they don't change, be like, I'm gonna have to ban you or something. I mean, I had a similar situation, but the person was never a sub or donating money.
Yeah.
They came in and they were nice. They were always in stream, and then eventually they just slowly started getting very argumentative with people, and they would argue over everything, and it just kept getting
Yeah.
worse and worse. And I straight up said, I was like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna end up having to ban you. And it got to the point where it got over the edge, and
Became a
JRinkz,
whole racist thing, and then we
yeah,
literally had to get rid of him. So
yeah, it just kept getting worse and
Yeah.
worse until it hit a breaking point, which was a way over the top.
Because I was like reading because it's like that person was just like they're supporting you. But it gets to a point where you're just like, if you're gonna keep doing that, like, you gotta put your foot down, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it
I agree with
it
that. I agree with that. But sometimes it's just hard to do that
yeah.
because they've been there through a lot of stuff. They
e-
supported you and everything.
Exactly. And I mean, to be honest, that's exactly what happened. He was there. He
he
was
was every day.
fine.
He was
He
there
was there
every
every
single
day.
day.
He was talking, and then eventually he just like he had always wanted to like argue with people, but like eventually that's literally all he did. And when you're when you make it so no one else in the chat can have any conversations, you're actually ruining the stream. Like legitimately ruining the
Yeah,
stream because you're making it all about you when it's not about you. It's not about you as the viewer. The interaction's there, but like yeah, it's still got to be good interaction. You can't be a
If
garbage
it's someone
human.
in there like destroying your mood and stuff, it's just like,
Exactly.
yeah. And even to this day, had I had stuff not blown up, I guarantee he every single day he was in there, which so that obviously hurts. That's a loyal viewer, but it came to the point that he needed to be gone, and I don't know, it was bad. It was to the point of where no matter what game I was playing, he would try to bring up an. I played Splitgate and come in and first message he would say, like, "Oh, Halo's better. Why wouldn't you be playing Halo? Halo's so much better than this," and just instantly trying to start some sort of argument. And I'm like, no, you could have just come in and say hi.
Mhm.
You could even say, I don't really like this game. I'd prefer to play a Halo. You don't have to bring it up as a argument and try to start an argument every single day,
right.
every single conversation. And as soon as you get off of one and onto the next, he finds a way to try to start an argument in that
'Cause
one.
it got to a point for me, like, I obviously played Brawlhalla with viewers a lot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that. It was really fun. Like, dude, they would destroy me. Like, I was
Mhm.
super bad at the game. Like, that's fun for them. But it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting bored and like annoyed of just getting destroyed every time. Like, to an extent, it wasn't like horrible, but like I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. And then every day for like the past like couple weeks, like when are we playing Brawlhalla? Brawlhalla. I'm like, dude, no, I'm just not.
Yeah.
I started being more vocal because that's something I was really bad at when I first started streaming. They're like, oh, we should play this game. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Because I was trying to just
Appease
wanted to
the
interact with the
crowd.
viewers, but it got to a point where I'm just like, dude, I literally say if someone comes in, they're like, oh, let's play this. I'm like, I go over to my third monitor over here. I look, I'm like, hey, there's this many people streaming this game. You can go find someone else. Like, if you want to watch that bad, you can go find someone else. There's this many people streaming. You can find someone new. Like, I'm not playing that thing. Obviously it's good to mix up your content once in a while, but
But it is about
if
you. You
Mhm.
are
if
the streamer. If you aren't
exactly.
enjoying what you're doing, there's a good fair chance that the other people that are watching you probably aren't having that great of a time either. If you're just not having fun.
Mhm.
Like I said, when I transitioned into RuneScape, it was like my stream just like felt like it died. Like it's just like
Well, it's such
that's because no one,
a niche
no,
game.
well, right, but no one that was there
Was there for
knew what RuneScape.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some people stayed, but then it really taught me like a lot of people are. I'd rather have people in there like for me to
Than
hype
the
me
game.
up to be
Mhm.
there because they want to watch me than the game. Like that's what that taught me. It's like, okay, people are just here, like you said, to play the game with you.
Yeah.
In a way. So I'm just saying, like, after that, I don't know what it is for me. Competitive games, like, they're fun for like a day, and then I just hate them. Because I'm not good and I don't want to take the time to spend 10 hours a day
Make it your
practicing.
main only game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only that, like, there's like we talked about earlier, like people, stop going to high school because they're really good at this game. So that's like their life now. You know what I mean? Like I told myself after I honestly was like, I'm gonna be a League of Legends pro player. That's what I'm going for.
Mhm.
Stupidest thing I've ever said to myself.
Such
Like
a
that was
hard
so
game.
stupid. Did I ever practice? No. I just played the game. Did I ever take time to practice? No. I was like, I'm not gonna practice. There's people out there that practice for like 10 hours a day,
Mhm.
every day.
And they're
I'm
running
like, can you
strats,
imagine?
and they've got
Yeah.
they've got it down to the minute on what they need to do, like to
Right.
run their lane perfectly.
And obviously I wasn't gonna make a pro player, and I am thankful I gave up that game up because all it was making me mad,
Mhm.
So just like looking back, you ever play a game? You're like, I wish I never played this game.
Not too often. I never wish I didn't
Oh.
ever play a game. Not really.
But yeah, I definitely wish I didn't play as many matches of League of Legends as I did.
Well, for whatever reason, whenever I see how much time I've spent in a game, it really just like pushes me away from that game. Like I looked how many wins and losses I had on League of Legends. It was like 1,100 wins and 1,050 losses. I was like, holy crap. That is like, and each game is
Damn.
30 to 40 minutes,
Yeah.
That's a lot of hours in games just to be mad. I think
Mhm.
even if it was a normal game, it was just like, I was still mad. Couldn't do it. Long time to be mad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then as I've been playing RuneScape, I've been networking more with RuneScape because it's more what I like about it's more people that play it are more like our age because
Yeah.
that's what the game they grew up with. I like that. I mean, I'm not like saying anything that to like the younger generation or anything,
But
but I just
sometimes
like it's nice because like it's more like the chat is more like adult
More mature.
adulty, like well yeah I was looking for the word, but yeah, more mature. Like people are just like there's no like obviously there's like some comments, but it's not just like spammy or you just like it's almost like I could tell the age difference between certain people
Mhm.
almost
Mhm.
now. You're just like and I'm not saying anything about the younger generation, like everyone's cool, like everyone's pretty cool that I've interacted with anyways, but it gets to a point it's like okay, kind of like you said, that comment was just not needed. Like there's no your comment provided no value and it just made people mad. Like
Yeah, and I
is that
think
fun?
I think a lot of it is Twitch generally is a younger demographic. So, kind of what I've noticed just with experience, you'll have building that younger audience is not necessarily a bad thing because as
not.
you go on and grow in with your community and whatnot, and they're just gonna grow up, and if they've grown up with you being there all the time, there's no reason they're not gonna come back and support you as best as they can now that they have grown up and now they have a job and now they have income. If you were their form of entertainment, the amount of people that are like, I've been here since the beginning, I love you, you've literally got me through all this time, here's donations, here's subs, and it's something that kind of just comes back like, they may not be super mature at the beginning, and stuff like that, but you'll grow the connection with them and just kind of notice as they grow up. I think it'll be a lot different, and then you have
Kinda
more
cool
of an
too.
older you'll have an older viewership as you grow, but you gotta remember, when you're small, everyone else, you're gonna have generally a younger demographic. I think
Right, and I wasn't saying it was like a bad thing,
Yeah.
but just sometimes you look over, you're like,
Yeah, I know streamers that have been doing it for 5 to 10 years that I've noticed generally have a higher age group of viewership, and I think that's kind of what it is. It's you find them when you are newer to Twitch, and then you just kind of keep them there. Your comfort streamer, you're there often. You grow with them, and yeah,
I honestly never thought about it that way until you just said that. Makes perfect sense.
yeah.
Well,
Pretty
plus,
cool thing.
like
Networking.
when you interact with someone for over a year or multiple years, like I don't know, you start to feel a little bit of a connection with them,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you've spent
Absolutely.
like if they're your comfort streamer, you've definitely spent enough time in there to at least be able to like enjoy some of the people or the like just the stuff they do, because sometimes it's not always about the game, and so to just show that love back is really what they do. Is they're just like you said, help me through a hard time,
Mhm.
help, like were there for me to entertain me, when I felt like I had nothing. And that's really kind of what people sometimes hold on to, is that people are always going to remember how you made them feel.
Emotions are strong.
And
A lot of
so
people make decisions because of their emotions.
yeah, most of the time it's probably too hasty or out of bad like rage.
Yep, and
I
then
have no
watching
pizza.
the last 2 episodes of You.
Oof.
I'm starting that today. Season 3. Oh my gosh.
You
I'm starting that today.
so
Right after this.
I watched the
Don't
first.
tell me anything.
I watched the first. I won't spoil anything, but I'll just kind of say that like it starts right away. There's no build up into a season like normally. Like it starts slow and by the middle it's picked up. They start hot. Like after the first episode, I was ready. So I was at home for lunch and I watched it over my lunch break. And after lunch, I was like, I don't want to go back to work. I just want to watch this the rest. Like I was.
How many
boom,
episodes?
10. I watched
Like
8.
40 minutes each?
50.
I'm just saying,
I
because
watched
the
8
way it
yesterday.
ended last time, I was like,
You have no clue. You have no clue.
like, oh.
It starts like right away. You're like, oh, so this is the direction they're going in. Psych. Okay.
Psych. I'm very excited because Mia has been sitting there like trying so hard not to watch the third season. She's been waiting for me patiently.
I mean, it only came out yesterday, so she hasn't been waiting that long.
Well, she's like, we're watching this together. Well, I mean, I streamed for like 11 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was like, she's been waiting. And I walk out, see what she was doing, and she has it pulled up. But I was like, what are you doing? And it was season 1, episode 1. I think she wanted to rewatch some of it. But right away, I'm like, what are you doing? You said you're gonna wait.
Yeah. As soon as we're done here,
I was letting her hurt a little bit.
Watch the last 2 episodes and be sad that I'm
excited.
done with it, because I started and I was like, well, maybe I can watch like 2 episodes a day and make it last, which would be nice because then you have something to look forward to. It's honestly the most addicting TV show I've ever watched, where as soon as an episode ends, is like I have to watch the next one. Even if I've been able to pause it and like exit to the home screen, I'm like, okay, now I gotta go in.
Nah.
I literally was
so-
at 7:00 last night. I was like, okay, I'll go in, start stream at about the normal time I start, and
I saw your
I
message.
messaged in Discord and I was like, well, if no one answers in like 15 minutes, I'll just. And I started it right away. I was like, well, if they message, I'll go start. Nothing. 15 minutes. All right, I'll just watch it.
So based off like rank the seasons right now in order from best to worst.
1, 3, 2. I think the first one is just so good, and it's hard. And I haven't finished the season, so I don't. I think the ending plays a big part into. And 2 was good. I don't know. The first one got me so hooked.
Yeah. When I was looking at canceled shows because of the pandemic, and it was like the third one. I'm like,
It was never canceled. It was just pushed back.
Right. But they're like, I guess that's what it said. Canceled shows. I was like,
oh, so I had that mentioned to me the other day. If you saw the thing on Twitter that said shows canceled by Netflix, and it would show the picture of you, all it would say under you was picked up for the 3rd season. It never said canceled. It was showing all the shows that were, and they put you on it so people would click, and it was all shows that were picked up for a new season and canceled. So it was like every other, like some were not canceled, some were picked up for a new season and stuff. And I almost guarantee this is going to be. I haven't even seen the ending, but I can already tell they're going to go on for another season.
I think because we're carving pumpkins today and watching that, so as soon as this is over, I'm like, I'm waking you up. I don't care what time you go to bed. You're getting up and we're watching this. Or I'm starting without you. I'm just starting without you.
Yeah, you're gonna have a problem stopping. Like you're gonna watch an episode or two and you're like, I have to be done, and it's gonna be like, ugh.
I mean, I'm not streaming till later tonight.
Maybe put it up. Maybe watch as many as I did. I think as long especially if you watch the first one, you have to watch the second episode. Take a nap, JRinkz.
My eyes are open.
Yeah, but I wish I had a chair like that. I don't.
Oh my gosh, mine. I feel like
one too.
Yeah. How do I see? I had to remember how.
My chair, the furthest I can go back is this. I don't have one of those fancy chairs. Like
I'm not gonna go any further than this because I don't want to rip my headphones out of my computer.
Yeah, I wish I had one. Like I wish I had a chair with the headrest, because there are times like when I'm watching stream. Yeah, the amount of, if I had a chair that could do that, I would be so happy.
Oh, if I ever am,
that
just
might be
like,
that'll be what I ask for Christmas is a new chair.
mega chilling.
Mine goes all the way back to like
flat. Yep.
It's just called OP seat. But I'm buying a new chair. Because for me, Mia's chair is horrible. So I was like, if I buy a new one, she can have this one.
Yeah.
But there's some gaming chairs with footrest.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I mean,
I'm like, what the?
This kind that I have has, or at least is built like the same exact way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got really cheap footrests, but that's
Yeah,
one of them
because
that I
also
saw.
what I'm gonna get, there's these wheels. Because right now I have a like a mat, a computer mat, because I'm on carpet.
Yep, so do I.
You could buy wheels that roll around on carpet. So I hate this mat because it doesn't stay in the same spot. So I'm constantly rolling off and on this stupid mat. I hate it.
Oh, really? Mine.
Yeah.
So mine I have no problem with. I think the only thing is I wish it was a little bit longer, because like if I push too far back, I roll off.
Right, but this one I feel like the spikes aren't long.
Oh, when I ordered mine, I got 2. I got a second one sent to me for free, so I have a second roll mat, and this one stays really well.
So when you feel the bottom, does it like kind of hurt? Like it's
kinda. It hurts a lot.
Okay, the one I have, it's like I'm pressing it to the floor on the opposite side with my foot, and I feel nothing.
Oh, mine have spikes that are like this long.
Yeah, mine are like this, and it doesn't hurt. Because the one I had earlier, like I think like I just sat in the same spot, it cracked. That thing, like I picked it up, and oh my gosh, I thought I like messed up my hand. That was the spikiest thing I've ever felt.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
If
and then I got this one.
I ever move this off my carpet, there'll be so many like just holes in the carpet.
Like this one does not leave holes. Like really.
Honestly,
I think
though,
that might be my problem. But you could get wheels for your chair that roll on carpet. I'm like, dang, I'm investing in that. That sounds way nice. It's like $3 a wheel. Just
Yeah,
swap it in.
that's 15
Like,
bucks. 5 wheels, nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the
Like
next thing I want to invest in. Mainly is a nice chair.
more RAM.
you could
That's for
get
me.
is there a ramp?
RAM.
No,
RAM for my
Oh,
that's the next
computer.
thing he wanted to invest in.
Oh,
I just
I was like, what
always
would you
was
need a ramp
told
for?
spend the most money for quality on things that keep you between the ground. So a bed, a car, shoes, and stuff like that. That was something that I've always been told growing up was invest your most money on anything that keeps you between the ground. Just because they
I
are the most important.
Well, right. Oh my gosh. I was online shopping for shoes once. Like 29 bucks for a pair of shoes sold. Those things were very comfy for like 3 days. And then after that, I had to throw them out. Like I would stand for 5 minutes and my heel would just like,
Hurt.
they're like, nope. Like, nope. So yeah, when I see like $120 pair of shoes, like it sucks, but
It's worth it.
But it's better than the
Never
$30
cheap out on
pair
It's
shoes.
better
that,
for your health.
that yeah.
yeah,
That was the
because
main
I work
thing.
in the foot and ankle department for my job. So like, you know how many people come in with feet problems and they all say, I wish I got better shoes when I was your age. Like, don't cheap out on shoes. Dress shoes, I think they are
I hate
meant to
dress
be
shoes.
comfy. I do too, but like, why would they just be uncomfortable all the time? It's obviously you're getting $60 pair of dress shoes when you should be getting $200 pair of dress shoes, obviously within reason.
Mhm.
But for how many times you wear them, I mean, sucks. But I'm telling you, when you have to wear dress shoes that hurt your feet, you have to be in them all day. It's not worth it. It's
Just
not. Not
just
me.
tell them
Yeah.
you're a barefootist and you just it's like nudism, but you know, you just go barefoot.
Yeah. So
Never got to buy shoes.
walk into a job interview. So barefoot. Oh yeah, it's the practice. Like
It's actually my religion. Would you like to hear about it?
yeah, don't cheap out on stuff. And obviously you can get away with like yeah, that's a very good point. Whatever keeps you in the ground.
I think
Because
that's
the chair you're in, dude, you're
I think
sitting a
that's
long
definitely
time.
the next thing I'm gonna invest in when I get a chance is get a really nice chair.
Yeah, chairs are.
The chair companies, if you need someone to sponsor and send a free chair.
Yes,
Or
sir.
Respawn. But I was on Amazon.
I've
You
seen
never
so
know what
much
you're gonna get.
respawn stuff.
But you're like, oh, you go and you click there and it's like, okay, yeah, $500 for a chair. I'm like, no.
I mean, if it's that comfy, the thing is, you don't get to try it.
Yeah,
That's the
the
problem.
scariest
Is I don't
part.
get to sit in it before
I
I
say yes
get it
to-
here.
There's this guy. I was just looking at reviews. Like the chairs I was looking at. They're like $99 and above. I don't know what's good or not, but this guy was like, "Do not buy this chair." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You're gonna be in there. It's gonna be the comfiest thing you're ever gonna sit in." And then 3 hours later, you're gonna sweat, and your sweat's gonna stick. Your butt's gonna stick to that chair. And then I'm like, "Okay." And then he's like, and then if you're a streamer, you're gonna pass gas a couple times, you're gonna fart, whatever. That stench is never gonna leave that chair. He's like, I tried everything. My chair stinks. He's like, I hate this thing. Like, oh my god, and he gave it 4 stars. I'm like,
Man,
what a
it's
4-star
radioactive
review that
farts.
is. Like, what the heck? But he kept like saying like, I don't know if it was be funny. Obviously it was funny to read it, but he was kept like dissing the chair and then he'd like say it was a good chair. So I'm like, what?
What do you?
You're
Which
confused.
side are you on?
Well, yeah, he's like, dude, your chair is gonna smell. There's no way to get it out.
That's just
Like-
him, though.
Well, he's like, think about it. Like, if you're not wearing pants, your legs are gonna stick. It's gonna make that, you're gonna stick when you're trying to get up. And then he's like,
Now, is this man just in boxer like whitey tighties?
I
fucking
don't know. I
naked.
didn't.
Butt
in the chair?
naked.
I didn't do any.
Nuts
I didn't
on
ask
the
any questions. But he's like, gosh, and then the couple times I passed gas that chair, man, he's just like, I'm reading this. every time I walk in the room, it's like I farted before I entered the room. I'm like, what?
I'm telling you, the farts ate through the stuff underneath the chair.
But I was like, you could probably get like a seat cover if you're that
Stanky.
weird about it.
Hey, whatever happened to your Batman chair?
Oh, I put it with. So I have it still, but then Oh, you can't see. But
Oh, that is the Batman chair. I didn't
yeah,
know.
this
I
is
just
the
saw it was
It was a
all
blanket.
dark.
It was a blanket.
Oh, I thought it was
said
your actual chair.
No, no. But no, I got this because like they sent me it from Vitamin Water. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I remember when you put it on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, and I was like,
It was your profile picture. Is it still your profile picture?
Yeah,
Of you holding the vitamin water?
I haven't updated it in a long time.
That's it for episode 7. I almost forgot 7.
We don't forget.
But we appreciate anyone that's made it this far. If you have, we would appreciate a like, comment, subscribe on anywhere you're listening. Thank you very much, and feel free check us out Twitter or TikTok or YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, we are on all those as well for the podcast. I'm Moths. Down at the bottom is T.
I'm JRinkz.
That's JRinkz. Until next time.